Every statement I make today is backed up by sources, solid sources. These are not assertions. What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence. As I show you these images, I will try to capture and explain what they mean, what they indicate to our imagery specialists. Let's look at one. The four that are in red squares represent active chemical munitions bunkers.
Not so much. And I'm just listening to Tom's alternate reality, but we'll get to that another time. February 5th, 2003, 10 years ago to the day, Secretary of State Colin Powell, at the request of the President, George W., went before the UN and said that Iraq possessed, as we know, WMDs. That speech, well, as we know, changed a lot of things here, fundamentally changed the next decade of our nation's history. It can be argued, and it soon became clear, that the content of the speech was, let's say, flawed, to put it politely. Now, of the speech, Powell later said, "My instincts failed me." Rather than what was there and what wasn't there, my question, and that Tom assumed I was going another direction, was, how much do you think that changed the way that we can go into future wars and how the world views the U.S. in terms of kind of the standard bearer?
Well, first off, just to set the record straight, the French, the Brits, the Turks, the Israelis, the Jordanians, all believed that that.
I'm not trying to refight the fight here. I'm just trying to figure out the impact of that.
All believed he had weapons of mass destruction. The bottom line was this was the darkest moment for General Powell. It influenced me and others, just as Bill Clinton's view that there were weapons of mass destruction influenced me and others.
Will it change the way we go into wars going forward?
Well, first off, no. Not his speech, but everything about it will.
Okay. This next one here, Dominic, I get your take on. Treyvon Martin, he would have been 18 years old today. Martin, as we know, shot to death last February by George Zimmerman, a man who was on neighborhood watch in the gated community where Martin was in fact living at the time. The circumstances of that night become a nationwide controversy as questions about whether or not the shooting was at least partially racially motivated, if not overwhelmingly so. Zimmerman, who says the two got into a scuffle, claims that he was acting in self-defense. And today, on what would have been Trayvon's birthday, a judge rebuffed Zimmerman's request for a 5-month delay of his trial. It will begin as scheduled on June 10th. And I know, Dominic, once we get around to June, it's going to be the big lead story and everything else. But I'm surprised, I don't know about you, that it kind of faded from the national consciousness almost as fast as it first came on.
Oh, it'll be back. It'll be back. African Americans, the NAACP, the Urban League, progressive groups, they're not going to let it die. It's going to get as high and interest as it did before. And the reason why, no one's going to forget that 911 call that said, "Sir, we don't need you to get involved." And Mr. Martin did it, Zimmerman did it anyway. So,
we got to hit a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
What were you going to say?